Hello everyone and welcome back to Shrey FC. I hope you guys are very well and very good. Please people, before I start, please do hit the like button. It means a lot. And please subscribe to the channel if you haven't. It just takes one click and really makes me happy. But even if you won't, I hope you have a great day and you understand my discussion on this video. Before I start, I'm just going to say, I'm a neutral here. I'm a Chelsea fan. But I'm going to be absolutely unbiased, and Arsenal is still a team I really appreciate this season. So please don't really misunderstand me for a rival and saying these things, because I'm going to be absolutely unbiased and I'm just going to discuss what went wrong for Arsenal in a title race where I think even I thought that they're going to win it, and in the end part, what they can do on next season to challenge, and will they challenge next year. So coming on, first of all, I will always start with positivity and what went right. Mikel Arteta deserves his massive praises. The guy's done a wonder job. I was one of them, as a rival watching Arsenal last year, throwing it away in top 4. I was also of the opinion that Arteta should be doing better. Arsenal can look much better, but he has done a fabulous job. The way he has developed the guys, Saka, Martinelli, the way he has brought on Odegaard, the transfers that Arsenal have made, the average age of the side where Arsenal are built for the future. And I think the way football Arsenal played this season, the way they have played football, the way they have fought back for an Arsenal team which Troy Deeney used to laugh at, the lack of Jones, Arsenal team not being physical enough. This Arsenal team sometimes for me remind me of bullies. They are strong. When they came to Stamford Bridge, they bullied us. They bullied a team which used to be bullied themselves. I think Mikel Arteta has taken Arsenal a long way and he deserves the praise. Now, what went wrong for Mikel and Arsenal, and where do Arsenal need to really work on? See, first of all, lack of experience. That's the first part which these guys cannot be blamed upon, because a lot of these guys have never experienced being in title pressure. See, the title pressure is always something else when Manchester City are catching you. They are sharks. They catch you and they never leave their prey, and that is what Manchester City is. Arsenal needed that experience of being in a title race, going into the match and knowing they have to win or they're going to lose it. They're going to lose the title. I think first of all, the lack of experience, because the average age of this side is so young, and Mikel Arteta himself is a very, very young manager, one of the most young manager in the league. They have players like Saka, Martinelli, the future stars of football. They have players like Odegaard, so many young players who haven't experienced winning something. Now, Odegaard, people can say Real Madrid, but he wasn't a massive part of that. He did not even play some minutes, I remember, in the Champions League campaign. So we can't really put him there. So there's a lack of experience in this side to win that things, and you have to understand that, and that's a massive factor. They were not able to grind out some victories. Whenever Arsenal won, the most wins, bar some wins, was of good fashion. But when it came to grinding out, they did a good part sometimes when they beat Leeds, when they beat Bournemouth, but other than that, they just fell short. Another part was Thomas Partey form, and see, Thomas Partey this season has had an absolutely fantastic season for Arsenal. But first of all, we have to also remember the energy he was putting in this season, the way he was playing, and the age he's on right now, that was always going to play catch up. You see the counterparts of Arsenal, Manchester City, the way Rodri is playing. Rodri, first of all, is a player that's irreplaceable in Manchester City, but overall, he sometimes can be rested. And when he came to Manchester City, he did not have that pressure. And they have so many other players that are stepping up, like Gundogan, like attackingly, sometimes Kevin De Bruyne, you've got Haaland, you've got Alvarez. Now they're playing a formation like a 3-2-5 where Stones is playing as a DM along with Rodri. So these things are really helping Rodri. Thomas Partey along with Xhaka played out of the skins. Nobody expected Arsenal to be the title race. Thomas Partey, for the first half of the season, ran his socks off. And at this age, remember, he's older than Rodri. It was eventually going to catch up. And not having any replacement. See, I'm a Chelsea fan. I love Jorginho. But Jorginho in transitions is a very, very weak player. And that can be caught at. He's a much better player in possession. He's a very good technician. But I think still when it transition, he's very easy to catch. And this is why for me, Jorginho was not going to be the one that replaces Partey. And they need to find some player where Partey can be rested, that player can play, and a bit of the pressure on Partey is eased. He's only going to get much and much older, and Arsenal need to do much better in that department for the future if they want to challenge Manchester City and even eventually Liverpool next season. Coming on to Arteta, and as I talked about earlier in the video, he's also very inexperienced. Now, many fans are angry at him. He should have rested Bukayo Saka, who has played so much this season. The guy still has been the best for me right winger in the league this season, but his form has dropped off. He should be dropping him. So that's a lack of experience in Mikel Arteta, where you can't blame him. He trusted the players who have done so well this season, but sadly he ran them down to the ground with the tiredness, but he had no option. Now people are saying use Trossard at the right, use this, use that, but that was just a lack of experience for a manager who is still learning his trade and will eventually get better next season. And that brings me to another point, the lack of depth. Now, Manchester City, I'm not even blaming Manchester City here. They're a very well run club. They can bring Alvarez on for Haaland. They can bring Mahrez and Foden. They can play players like Gundogan, the experienced players who won their team title on the final day. Arsenal have Eddie Nketiah, who I really respect, but he's not at the level Alvarez is. You have got no replacement. Bukayo Saka. Trossard is still, for me, at that side, not a very good player. Trossard has to play through the left. Martinelli Trossard is a good competition, but you go towards Odegaard and Fabio Vieira, that's a big mismatch. Fabio Vieira is a very young guy. You still cannot play without Partey, and it's a very different team. You have no player bar Gabriel Saliba, and Holding is a massive downgrade, and Kiwior is still very young. Ben White has been excellent this season, but he's still not a right back. And Tomiyasu has really had sad injuries this season, which is really not expected, but his injuries have been a massive part of Ben White playing every game. Now, Zinchenko and Tierney are two different type of fullbacks. Manchester City this season with Nathan Ake, and sometimes even in this back three Akanji has played, they have the same style of football. Arsenal, Zinchenko, Tierney are two different type of fullbacks, and Tierney is the one that I think Arteta does not prefer to play. So again, that's a problem. And they again have no one to replace Ramsdale with, so they need to do a lot of work in the transfer market to replace that. So these were the reasons they were not able to win the title. Now to the final question. Can they challenge next year? They absolutely can. They have the minerals, they have the resources, they have, you can say, the idea of building it. It's only about the final execution and what the Kroenkes are going to do. See, even as a rival, I've seen Kroenkes not doing very well at Arsenal. Now, finally, after a long time, they've got a lot of decisions, right? If they don't put the money now and back the club, Arsenal fans have to ask massive question of the ownership. And also, they have one of the best youngsters in the world, Bukayo Saka, Martinelli, Odegaard. They have Gabriel, he's also still a nonsense striker, but he's just not very clinical. You still have a very good midfielder, hopefully in the future coming in, Declan Rice, if you sign him. You still have a very good centre-back partnership of Gabriel, Saliba. Zinchenko attackingly is so good to watch. Ben White this season has played well. Hopefully Tomiyasu comes back fully fit. Ramsdale will only get better next season. He has had a good season so far. So there are the resources and the minerals. If you add a player like Declan Rice to that, if you add a player like Olise to that who can fight with Saka, or someone you think can play with Saka and compete with him for a position, if you, for me, as much as Eddie Nketiah has played well, you add more prolific striker along with Gabriel Jesus, then yes, you can. It's up to the Kroenkes, and then the final power rests on Arteta to get the job done. But if Kroenkes do not back Arteta this summer, after not giving him the signings in last January windows, and still not fully backing him in terms of, you can say, the way Chelsea are spending, the way Manchester City spend, the way even Liverpool might spend this summer with being links to Caicedo, McAllister, Mason Mount, the money that Liverpool can spend, the money Manchester United can spend with the new ownership, then massive question have to be asked for Kroenkes, because now is the best time. Arsenal are one of the most attractive club in the world right now. The football they're playing is amazing. The resources are there. If you now also don't want to take it to the final step, then the question lies upon you. Hopefully you like the video, people. Please like and subscribe. Thank you, everyone. Hope you have a great day. Thank you.